Colorado has a long history of getting 3 or 4 steps ahead of the federal government, solving complex natural resource issues and doing it on our terms. And that's what this proposal embodies. This bill will result in more drilling and less federal government intrusion. More drilling and less federal government intrusion. It could come from the Republican platform that the federal government is considering are austere and they are extreme. This bill allows us to substantially solve the NOx issue in one fell swoop. What are the types of things we're talking about if this bill doesn't pass, if we don't clean up these old coal power plants? Potential strategies requiring additional evaluations for near-term SIP amendments. Requiring a reformulation of gasoline to 7.0 RVPs. That's the California standard. Suncor, the refinery, I think in either Senator Tocktropt or Senator Hodges' district, can't produce that type of gasoline. They cannot meet that standard. If they go offline or they cannot reformulate to that standard, guess what? Gas prices for everyone across the state of Colorado go up. Additional federal reformulated gasoline requirements. Elimination of the ethanol waiver. That one would probably be okay in my book. Statewide oil and gas regulation control requirements for new condensate tanks and valves. Adding an additional cost on top of a natural gas sector that is in decline in the state of Colorado. Emission controls on large NOx sources, power plants, boilers, cement kilns. Again, they don't have the option of coming in with the lighter touch and factoring in the impact of their regulations on business. They come in with a narrow focus to impose air quality standards. They don't have to do it in a least cost way. We will. And listen to this, California paints, solvents, consumer product rules, literally regulating consumer behavior down to the type of hairspray you put in your hair. Mandatory high emitter programs. For those of you who hate the EnviroTest program, guess what? If we don't pass this legislation, you may have it, and it's going to be on steroids. California's clean air standards, statewide. Employer-based travel reduction pilot programs. Carpooling, mandatory. Promote anti-idling ordinances among local governments. Stage 2, vapor recovery at gasoline service stations. Those goofy gas nozzles that drive up the cost for our gas station owner and operators, and on and on. There's a whole list of options that are not abstract, they are not academic, they are not made up, they have been implemented. Senator Romer talked about what happened in Los Angeles when they literally told you when you could or could not mow your lawn. These are the types of radical alternatives that fill the void if we don't. And Senator Sandoval I respect because she is consistent in her arguments, but the difference is the EPA will not do this better or more cheaply than we do in the state of Colorado under this proposal. Two final points that I wanted to make, actually 3 final points I wanted to make. I wanted to bring this chart back up. The Democrats will remember this because this was the chart that all of us stood next to when we were attacking Senator Whitehead's bill. And I am just as strong against 1001 today as I was then, and hopefully there will be a new administration, a new legislature, so we can repeal it one day. But politics being what it is, sometimes we disagree and sometimes we agree. But here are the numbers that the Republicans held up. Coal and natural gas costs. This is a commodity-based, and this is according to the financial analysts. Coal is slightly less expensive than natural gas on a commodity basis, but guess what? This doesn't factor in the prohibitive capital costs associated with coal versus natural gas. Natural gas is cost competitive. To just say, well, there's been a little fine or two, so not that much is different. Nonsense. The whole world has changed with respect to natural gas because of these significant shale plays. It's created a vast reservoir of supply, which has pushed down prices and allowed natural gas to be a competitor, a viable competitor to produce electric generation in the state. This bill will increase demand to drill, demand for natural gas by 15% by itself in one fell swoop. That is jobs. That's economic activity. And that's entirely consistent with the Republican and conservative values that many of us brought down there. And that's why I am proudly voting for this bill. Less government control, more energy production in the state of Colorado. I'd ask for an aye vote.